Alright, so look at this pile of yumminess. I've been having so much fun doing a few other batches before the weather drastically changes. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 80 degrees, but in 2 days we're supposed to have a freeze. So I'm trying to get done as much as possible before all the leaves get all crunchy. And this is one of the latest batches that I did. I'll go through it very quickly so that those of you that have been trying to do yours or are still trying to be inspired to do yours, this might encourage you. These are just file folders here, pieces that I have had left over from other projects. So I did that on there, and they came out pretty cool. And here's a few others. Pretty cool. Now, some of these trees, like the other ones I've showed you, I've known exactly what the plants were because they were all in my yard. But most of these now, I went cruising. And a few days ago, we had a mild thunderstorm with quite a breeze. It was a 50-mile-an-hour breeze, as a matter of fact. So there are lots of leaves all over on the ground. So I went over on the nature trail that we have here in town, one of them, and just picked up stuff all over the place. And a lot of the trees I'm not familiar with, so I don't know what they are. But I do know where they are. So some of the ones that I really liked how they came out, I'm going to go back and get some more of those leaves. Some of them are more subtle than others, but I like that. Everything doesn't have to be dramatic. Look how pretty this is. Looks like it's watercolored. I like that a lot. And what I'm finding out is I had 2 different batches of manila folders. They were a different brand. You see here the names in the back. And they actually come out totally different. I understand it. Well, I do understand it. It's the makeup of how they make the type of paper that they're using on their folders. But you would think a manila folder is a manila folder. But it's not. They're different. The composition of their paper is different, and it's very obvious when I put the same leaves in there. The 2 different ones come out completely different. The colors are different that come out. That's kind of cool. So that's the last of the manila folders. And then I've already put some of these in some other projects, but these are those large penmanship papers that I have, and I did quite a few of those, and they came out pretty cool. I like that. I also did some on a book, a botanical book. I thought it was appropriate that has all these plants and bugs and everything, and so now I've got, some of them came out pretty crisp, others just kind of didn't do too much, but I liked it anyway. I like all the looks. They don't all have to be perfect to be pretty. And these will look pretty cool in junk journals. But I really like that one. November. A couple more days till November. You wouldn't know it these past days around here. It has been very, very nice. Like I say, it's going to be 80 or 81 tomorrow. And then we're going to get a little snap. It's going to go all the way down. I think the high for Friday, today is Wednesday, so Thursday is going to be 80. And Friday, the high is supposed to be 56. So, then I also did the larger pieces of the folders And again, there's two different types of folders, and they came out quite differently. I like this one a lot. I have over against one of my exterior fences, I have a bunch of morning glories that are blooming. This is handmade paper here. This hardly didn't take, and this one's more subtle. Looks nice. This one, I don't know, it probably won't show up on the camera. It's very faint, but it's kind of cool looking. And more handmade paper. But anyway, I have a bunch of morning glories that are blooming, and I've been putting them in the pages, and that's what those pinkish, purplish dots are all over the place, are pink morning glories that I have. Then I did it on regular copy paper. I like the way it comes out too. Here's the morning glories there. But it comes out pretty cool. And again, some are pretty faint, but I think they're still cool. I like that. Some of the morning glories. And I think that's that for my regular paper. Then I have these sheets. It's a roll, and these are you can find this paper in the paint department, and it is what goes along the baseboard or around the windows when they're going to spray paint. It's like a masking paper, and it does take the dye. It dyes it pretty good. I like the effect that it gives. And then here is some more of the penmanship paper that I did. These did not come out. They're very ghosty. A few of them did come out pretty good, but some of the leaves that I was using, these were the ones that I found in my walk, and they didn't come out. These are the ones here in my house, and they came out, you know, a lot better. So, don't know, you know, what the difference is. Like I say, I don't know what it was I picked up. I think this is so cool. Love that paper, how it looks. And then I tried it on this ledger paper, and it did absolutely nothing. You know, I mean, it did absorb some of the color, you know, in the water, but as far as the transferring of, you know, the actual print, it didn't do anything. This is pretty thick. It does feel like there's a coat of something on this paper, and I think it has some kind of a sealant on it, and it just doesn't let the dyes bleed and get, you know, absorbed. So if you just want to do it like you would do it when you know, coffee dye it, that's one thing. But if you're going to try and do this to actually get prints on it, it's not going to work. So don't waste your time trying that. And here are some more of those papers that are the painting masking papers. I think these came out super duper. Whoops. But I like this. Isn't that cool? And this one, I have a large, very, very large pecan tree in the backyard, and all these leaves that are a little bit longer and pointed, those are all the leaves from the pecan tree, and it really does come through nicely. And so what I did is I just laid it across here, and then I folded it and folded it several times, and that's why most of the print is just on the one side. Then I had this big piece of vellum. I had tried a little piece of vellum before, and it just, because it was so small, it almost disintegrated. So I thought, I better put a big one in there, and look what happened. I mean, it's crispy, it's crunchy, it doesn't have, you know, too much of the design, but I do not care. I just absolutely love how this came out. The colors, the tech, everything. I love everything about it, and so that was super cool. Okay, so what I've decided to do is, because several people have asked me if they could purchase some of my papers. So this is what I have done, and hold on. Alright, so for those of you that have asked to purchase my papers, I've put some small sample kits together. Right now, all I have are these, which are 10 kits that I put together. No two are the same, because as you know, these are, you know, equivalent to jelly printing. You're not going to get two that look alike. So what I will do is I will show you two different ones, so you can get kind of an idea of, you know, what's in there. But like I say, they are all going to be different, and they're a sample of the various things that I have already printed. So here, for instance, is a piece of, this is the manila folder. There's a piece of that. I had done it on some resin paper that goes on flooring, and there's some of that. And this is watercolor. This is some of the vellum. This here is just some of the, this was lunch bag paper. And this is the file folder. And each one is going to have one of the prints that I watercolored. So there's that. And then here's another one on the file folder. This is paper from that penmanship paper. And here is one of the ones that was on that page. So there are 10 samples, at least 10 samples of different kinds of papers that I've done. And then I went into my stash of ephemera. Now this is not real ephemera. This is replicas. But I thought if you're going to be using this into some kind of a journal, I would include just some different pieces that I have. They won't all be the same, but in general, this is the type. I try to go more for vintagey type look as opposed to, you know, things that are modern. And so there's also going to be 10 pieces of these included in each kit. Then, I'm always doing something. The other day, I was fooling around, because some of you have seen my bacon pen. And it's not around right now, so I can't show it to you. I think it's in the house. But anyway, it's a flat pen, and I put it inside of my journal so it won't get in the way. So I had some paper that had these pens on them. So I decided to make some of that type of pen. It's a flat pen. So I made these, and so what I'm going to do with each one of these kits, I'm going to include one of the flat pens. So that's the way the kits are going to come. I have 10 of them. I'll see what kind of response I get. If people are interested in them, then I'll make some more, and I'll have more available. If there's special requests on certain types of paper that they like more than the other, once you get the sample kit, you'll know which ones you like better. And then maybe I can get bundles of specific papers, specific types of papers, I should say. So anyway, so like I said, I have 10 of these right now. They come with at least 10 samples of paper, 10 pieces of ephemera, and your very own writing pen that I have made for you. All right, so I hope you enjoy this. I hope it inspires you to try and make some of your own. And if it isn't your cup of tea to do it, well then here you are. You have a sample pack that can be your very own. Okay, I hope it inspired you to try something new.